Bout Time with Rashawn's Bout Time Boxing, aka Mr. Trill 100 Mil. What's up to my Bout Time Boxing family and the Trill 100 Mil gang? Thank you to every single one of y'all who has been taking out the time to watch the videos, like the videos, share the videos, and leave the comments. If you have not already subscribed to the channel and you're watching this video or any of my videos for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Encourage others to subscribe to Rashawn's Bout Time Boxing. Don't forget to hit that notification button to stay up on the latest with Rashawn's Bout Time Boxing. Of course, as always, I'm going to give a shout out to my guy, Rebel Life Boxing. Please support and subscribe to his channel. Mark Nash Boxing, MZ Musically Zone, Always Talk Boxing. Support his channel. Nate's Boxing Nation, YSM Boxing Boxing Channel, YSM. I said YSL before, but it's YSM. Support his boxing channel. Fanon Boxing Channel, Hustlers Home Boxing, and as always, shout out to New Media, of course, to everybody that's that showed me love. Y'all know Wentworth Richardson, Kofi's Universe, Peter Oscar, Doughboy Johnson, Wildlife, I think it is, John McGovern, Ish, Big Bro Sharif, Abdul Kawi, Benjamin Allen, Real Deal, Robert Brooks, Perry Robinson. It's a lot of, I appreciate all y'all. Listen, man, I want to give a plug to this dude, Brother Enoch. Because ever since I put up that video about the 50-50 split, he's just been, I guess he's upset about it. Not that I care, but, I give a shout out to you, Brother Enoch, and I appreciate you, taking the time to, to watch the video and respond, man. I respect your opinion. But the disrespect towards Terence Crawford, y'all, is sad. Straight up. I can't put it no other way. The disrespect towards Terence Crawford is sad. And I see why people call these Errol Spence fans Errol-sexuals. I see why they call them that. Why y'all so mad at this man that y'all feel like he don't deserve a 50-50 split? And y'all talking about, okay, he's quote unquote more popular, do more, he sell more, all that type of stuff y'all saying. But listen, if Errol Spence had been signed to Bob Arum and not Al Heyman in PBC, he would have been building his resume the hard way, just like Terence Crawford had to do it. I don't care what none of y'all say. And I don't care who agree or disagree. And for those of y'all who don't know, Al Heyman is a marketing and promoting mastermind genius. I don't care about Bob Arum being a former lawyer, used to work for one of the biggest law firms in New York and all that stuff. That means nothing. Al Heyman has been doing this promotional thing for more than half his life. And for those of y'all who live in Philly, because I'm almost 50, I don't know, what I'm saying, about the younger people, but those of y'all who from Philly, and that's from this era, and y'all remember this, it used to be this show called the Budweiser Superfest. Used to come to Philly every summer. Al Heyman was the one promoting that. He was doing concert promoting and all that stuff before he got into boxing. So, and we know Bob Arum don't give two squats about promoting no black fighters for real. We know that. So Terence Crawford's family, he had to build it he had to earn it, build it the hard way. And I'm not saying that Errol Spence's, wasn't given to him, because Errol Spence is an extremely talented fighter. Yes, he's going into the Boxing Hall of Fame too. Errol Spence is one of the best fighters, pound for pound, in the welterweight division. Yes, I don't knock that. But y'all be disrespecting and trying to discredit Terence Crawford's accomplishments like they mean nothing. Listen, I guarantee y'all, if Errol Spence had accomplished the things that Terence Crawford had, if Errol Spence was a a 3-division world champion, a former undisputed lightweight champion, a former, you know what I mean, junior welterweight champion, and then went on to be, you know, what he is now, the unified, you know what I mean, welterweight champion. And let's say Terence Crawford may have only won 1 belt in 1 division. Let's say he was only a champion in the lightweight division. And he wasn't even a champion in the welterweight division, but yet and still he got the resume that he got. And they talking about building up this fight. You know what y'all ERROL Spence fans would be saying? How you gonna try to compare the two together? What? ERROL Spence is a 3-division world champion, and he a current unified welterweight champ. He was a former, you know, undisputed lightweight champ. And he was a former undefeated, you know, and he's still undefeated. He was a welterweight champion, a junior welterweight champion. You know what I mean? So, and now he still undefeated. And he a unified welterweight champ. Man, y'all need to go ahead with that stuff. Bud need to take whatever he giving. That type of disrespect and that stuff is extremely insulting, man, to Terence Crawford's accomplishments. And a lot of y'all mad because he was at the Hall of Fame and they encasted his fist and all that kind of stuff. Y'all mad about that. Why? And y'all talking about resume and all that kind of stuff. I mean, come on, man. Like, all right. And for the guy, brother Enoch, he talking about, oh, when Terence Crawford was accomplishing all those things, the competition back then was lackluster. But nobody was saying that when ERROL Spence was fighting guys like Carlos Campos or Leonard Bundu or Chris Algieri, you know what I mean? Or Alejandro Barrera. Nobody was saying Chris Van Heerden. Nobody was saying the competition was lackluster when ERROL Spence was beating those guys. But because Terence Crawford was beating guys like Hank Lundy, Ray Beltran, John Molina Jr., Kavaliauskas, Jose Benavidez, now the competition is lackluster? Come on, man. Y'all, you know what I mean? See, this is the difference between, you know, people who just fans of certain fighters, and no matter what the situation is, they just gonna back that fighter. But whether I like a fighter or not, I got to keep the scales balanced. We got to do it over here at Rashawn's Bout Time Boxing. We got to do it. I don't take nothing away from ERROL Spence, but I'm not going to discredit Terence Crawford and what he accomplished. Because guess what? When he go into the Hall of Fame, those are going to be some of the things that they're going to mention about him. Being a former undefeated, undisputed lightweight champion. A former undefeated junior welterweight champion, and being an undefeated welterweight champion. Right now, ERROL Spence just got unified welterweight champion. All his accomplishments at 147. Crawford is a 3-division world champion. And y'all want to discredit that because ERROL Spence is a current welterweight champion and talking about the accomplishments of the past has nothing to do with, and y'all saying that the accomplishments from the past has nothing to do with making the fight now and it being a 50-50 split? That's a bunch of BS, and y'all know it. Because just like I said before, if it had been ERROL Spence that had accomplished those things and not Terence Crawford, and Terence Crawford was saying, nah, 50-50 split, y'all would have been saying, man, Terence Crawford on crack, man. He's smoking rocks. That boy done lost his mind. How you think he deserve a 50-50 split? And ERROL Spence is a current unified welterweight champion, 3-division world champion, former undisputed light. Y'all would be calling out all those accolades in ERROL Spence's favor to justify why Terence Crawford should take whatever ERROL Spence giving. And y'all acting like promotion don't play a part in all this kind of stuff. It does. Because if Terence Crawford had been with PBC and Al Heyman, believe me, his popularity would be, and I still feel like he's just as popular. And again, y'all still forgetting. And I don't care whoever think that this, what I'm getting ready to say now, I don't care who feel like it don't matter or it don't mean anything. It does mean something. Terence Crawford made more money, and I said this before, he made more money fighting Sean Porter than Errol Spence made fighting Yordenis Ugas. But like I said before, you put Crawford and Spence's name on the marquee, fight already sold. This fight hasn't even been made yet, and it's sold already. Y'all can disagree with that all y'all want. Enoch, go ahead and drop your stuff, because I know you are. But y'all can disagree with this all y'all want. I don't care about that. You cannot discredit what Terence Crawford has accomplished. And shout out to the guy, I think his name Wildlife or something like that, when he get it. He said Terence Crawford has the resume. And even though I feel like it should be a 50-50 split, but what Wildlife said, he was like 55-45. I agree with that even a little bit. But some 70-30, 60-40, y'all smoking rocks. Y'all tripping. Al Haymon, like I said, he's a marketing, listen, prime example. Before Floyd fought Oscar De La Hoya, nobody thought Floyd was worth fighting. Floyd wasn't even on nobody's radar. Winky, Shane, none of them guys wanted to fight Floyd because they didn't feel like he was worth fighting. What? Ain't nobody, everybody was gunning for Oscar. Everybody was gunning for Oscar. But after Floyd bought himself out of his contract and he aligned himself with Al Haymon, what happened? All of a sudden, household name, top guy, pay-per-view sales, all that kind of stuff. That wasn't because of Floyd. That was because of Al Haymon and his team. So this goes, I'm trying to tell you, this is about Al Haymon. If Crawford was with them, he would be right there. Everybody would be, you know what I'm saying? And don't act like Terence Crawford is not a household name, because he is. Don't act like he's not. Like, nobody really know about Crawford and everybody know about Errol Spence. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to balance these scales out, man, and stop with the disrespect towards Terence Crawford, man. This man is a future Hall of Famer, and so is Errol Spence. And this fight here is going to, when this fight gets made, this is going to be the biggest fight in boxing. The biggest fight in boxing. And it's going to be a huge draw. Man, you know, they talking about, oh, it's going to be in Errol Spence's hometown. This is hometown in Texas. This is hometown now. Errol Spence was born in New York, though. He was born in New York. So Texas is his adoptive, hometown. And it's all right. But hopefully the fight will be made in Vegas, neutral territory. You ain't hear Crawford talking about, let's make the fight in Omaha. Me personally, I think it should be an international promotion with the fight, and I think they should have the fight over in the UK somewhere in Wembley, where you can hold 90,000. Because it'll sell out. And yeah, you got some people from the US that'll jump on some birds to go over there to watch that fight. But a lot of people is going to order a pay-per-view. And that's why I keep saying, like, I don't care what nobody say. Yes, this is a fight that's already sold, that has not been made yet. But stop discrediting Terence Crawford, man. Like, his accomplishments don't mean nothing. Yeah, Errol Spence, he beat Ugas, he beat Porter, he beat Mikey Garcia. But then even when the guy was talking about, when the dude talking about competition was lackluster and all that, but when you look at Mikey Garcia, yeah, he beat Mikey, but Mikey was popular because he's Mexican. Mexican fighters got a cult-like following anyway. But when you look at Mikey and you look at who Mikey beat, to try to say he was an elite guy, who he beat? Robert Easter Jr. No disrespect to Robert Easter, but he not no A-class fighter. Adrian Broner, top level. Sergey Lipinets, he's not no A-class fighter. Jesse Vargas is not. He lost to Sandor Martinez. Of course, we know he lost to Errol Spence. And you can maybe put Orlando Salido's name in there. Maybe. But those are the biggest names on Mikey Garcia's resume. Those are the big, minus Errol Spence, those are the biggest names on his resume until he fought Errol Spence. Spence fight Mikey, listen, Mexican fight, certain nationalities, man, they people like the Philippines and all that. They say when Pacquiao fought, the crime rate in the Philippines was 0. Some people just have effect on their home. They got cult-like followings like that. I don't mean cults like in a bad way, but those of y'all know what I'm talking about. But y'all discredit Terence Crawford because he beat Sean Porter. But when Spence beat Sean Porter, it was a bigger deal. You know, he beat Kell Brook. When he beat Kell Brook, Kell Brook ain't, you know, he ain't nobody. He a shell of himself. But when Spence beat him to win the title, Spence is that guy. I mean, come on now. They both beat Porter. They both beat Kell Brook. He beat Amir Khan, Jose Benavidez Jr., which was David Benavidez's brother. He beat Cav Velasquez. He beat Thomas Delorme. Y'all can say what y'all want about Cav Velasquez, but he tough. You know, Delorme, you know, now, you know, of course, since Boots destroyed him, of course, y'all going to make it seem like Delorme is nobody. But then you got Jeff Horn, who beat Manny Pacquiao, Hank Lundy, Gamboa, who gave Crawford problems, Ray Beltran, he won a belt from him, you know, and John Molina Jr., who was making a name for his time at the self. I mean, who was making a name for himself at that time. So you try to talk about the competition was lackluster. No, it wasn't. Both of those guys was doing what they were supposed to do with the competition that they put in front of them at that time. And nobody said nothing to Errol Spence when he was beating guys like Algieri, Van Heerden, Bundu, and Carlos Campos, and Alejandro Barrera, and you know what I mean, and Lamont Peterson and stuff. Nobody was saying the competition was lackluster. And those guys that I mentioned, Van Heerden, Algieri, Campos, you could put those guys with a Hank Lundy or maybe a Jeff Horn or Jose Benavidez or Ray Beltran. You know what I mean? You could put, or Cav Velasquez, you can put those guys on a level with those guys. So what do you mean competition lackluster? No, he did what he was supposed to do with the people that they put in front of him. That's what he did. Matter of fact, with Mikey Garcia, okay, y'all want to talk about that? In 2017, when Mikey Garcia won the WBC lightweight title, he knocked out some guy named Dejan Ladakanen. Dejan Ladakanen. When he won the WBC lightweight title. Now, y'all gonna tell me y'all know who that is, Dejan Ladakanen? Y'all know who that is? But Mikey won the title. He won the WBC belt, knocking this guy out. Nobody said the competition was lackluster. But Crawford beat Ray Beltran for a belt, and all of a sudden the competition lackluster? Crawford knocked out Kell Brook. Kell Brook is nothing, but Errol Spence beat him for the IBF title. I mean, come on, man. Y'all need to stop with the disrespect. Stop trying to discredit Terence Crawford, man, and what he has accomplished. Because those things that he's accomplished are all part of the things that, you know what I mean, is the reason why he's a future Hall of Famer. And what Errol Spence is accomplishing now and what he has accomplished being a unified welterweight champion is part of the reason why he's a future Hall of Famer. So get out y'all feelings with that stuff, man. You know, trying to discredit what Terence Crawford has accomplished, man. Terence Crawford got a bogus bias, you know what I mean? You know, and a lot of people say Bob Arum racist guy too. I don't care how many black people he worked with. A lot of people say Bob Arum is racist, but come on. He didn't care about promoting Terence Crawford. He lied to Terence Crawford, kept telling him he was going to get the Pacquiao fight, kept lying to him about it. Oh, he beat this person, he beat this person, he beat this person, he'd get it. He never had no intentions on getting him that fight. That's why when he was talking about the money that he wasted on Terence Crawford promoting him, he could have built a house in Beverly Hills. That's a bunch of BS. Because nobody's not going to keep a fighter or keep them in a contract if you're losing money on them. Only way you're going to keep them, and then, you know, is if you're making money off of them. And his last fight with them was with Sean Porter. And they were still trying to re-sign Terence Crawford. They wanted him to stay. Why? Because they know he's a moneymaker, he's a draw. So when it comes to popularity, yes, I feel like they are equal. Yup, I don't care who disagree. This man has accomplished things that Errol Spence hasn't. And y'all want to discredit that because Errol Spence is a unified champion now, knowing damn well that if Errol Spence had been the one who was a 3-division world champion, former undefeated, undisputed, all that kind of stuff, y'all would be using all that stuff in his favor to talk about why Terence Crawford should take whatever he given. No. Like I said, I agree with the wildlife guy a little bit with the 55-45, but fight should be in Vegas, 50-50 split. Stop with the disrespect towards Terence Crawford, man. Get that man his credit. Get that man the respect. Show him the respect that he do. Because ERROL Spence get his. And then I even heard Spence made some comment towards the veterans. Like, I mean, the people who was going into the Hall of Fame. I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of people were saying he was talking about F them and all that kind of stuff. Like, what are you mad about? You the man. What you mad about? Come on, man. Like, both of these guys are future Hall of Famers. And when this fight gets made, this is going to be the biggest fight in boxing. This is a fight that the sport need, the history of the sport need. It's for the history of boxing. You know what I'm saying? And it's for the legacy. And this fight is for both of their legacies. And this is going to be one of the best classics. And no, this fight is not going to, I don't see this fight going 12 rounds. But I know it's going to be one for the ages. Y'all drop the comments in the comment section below. Let me know how y'all feel about this video. But don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button and encourage others to subscribe to Bout Boxing. That's all I got for now. Until I put that next one.